Don't forget to keep checking out my Twitter and Tumblr for links, bail funds, resources, everything like that surrounding the Black Lives Matter movement and all the other movements, protests, petitions that are going on right now. The world is in a really rough place right now, and just because your feeds are back to normal and there's still videos from me every week doesn't mean it's ending. It just means it's happening quietly because nobody's pushing it for the media. So keep an eye out. Hello Friendzies, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about capitalism versus creativity. And I say this almost every video that's like not just goofy and me talking. I probably should have scripted this video and maybe done a little more research, but I'm really just going to talk about personal experience and just kind of things that I see happening for this kind of discussion. So let's get into it, pals. So in like the world we live in, especially in America, this is a capitalist hellscape and I hate it here. It costs too much to live and you can't even die for free, so that's fun. But on social media, you know, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, things like that, I follow a lot of artists, and whatever media form it is, whether it's YouTube, whether it's making crafts, whether it's pins, whether it's art, like traditional art, I just follow a lot of artists, and I really like them, and I really think following artists and things like that is much better for like your mental health overall in the world that we live in with social media than it is following celebrities and things like that. But and they always say it better than I do, and they'll always say it better than I ever will. But being an artist in such a capitalist hellscape is really freaking hard, because at the root of it, I personally think art is just straight up for human enjoyment. Humans make art. Humans have always made art. Even ancient civilizations, we find art. Whether it's, you know, like diagrams for like scientific purposes or anything, there's still an artwork made. Which I think is so cool. But people have always had to sustain a living, but especially now, again, in the capitalist hellscape, people need to sustain a living, and it's impossible to sustain a living in this country. I know in other parts of the world as well, but I'm, you know, speaking from an American standpoint. It's really hard to sustain a living in this country, especially doing something that you enjoy. The people that get really high up on YouTube, it is a lot of, you know, hard work and perseverance and stuff, but a lot of it is also luck. 98% of the time it's luck. And YouTube is, again, a form of creativity. It is a form of art. And it's really shitty that a lot of people have such a passion for it and want to do this as what, you know, sustains their living and just aren't able to. A lot of people make artwork because they love it. And they're like, ooh, I want to be an artist. I want to make a career out of it. And then unfortunately, whether they mean to or not, it becomes about the money because there's no other way to do it. That just makes me so sad. I guess that's what I wanted this video to be about. I just want to talk about how sad that is. It sucks. It sucks that none of us can really do things that we really love without having to think about the money. And we have to. We don't have a choice because that's the only way. Or like for me, for instance, I know a lot of the times when I'm at work, I'm there, I'm doing something kind of mundane, so my brain can just go, and I have like full-length stories written in my head, and I'm like, oh my god, when I get home, I'm gonna get home and write. But because I work long hours in not great conditions for minimum wage, I have to come home and try to rest to do the next shift of the same thing, and I don't really have time or like the energy to come home and write. And I've talked about this in a video before. All I want to do is be an author. That's all I want out of life, is to make stories. And it's so difficult because the way this world is structured and the way this country is structured is creativity kind of gets beaten out of you. And if it doesn't get beaten out of you, it becomes that weird, terrible struggle of making money off of it. So like you can be selling prints and stuff, but you have to find a way to kind of fund the starting point to sell prints. And like websites are going to take a percentage of your sales to sell your prints. And then you have to do the mailing and everything and the shipping to sell prints. And for a long time, it comes out of your pocket. until you hit a certain point, it comes out of your pocket. So then what can you do to sustain and gather that money to then follow this dream? But then you can't necessarily make more art to sell because you have to work on getting the money to make another like Kickstarter. It sucks. It sucks so bad. And I just hate it. Like even me, I love to paint, but I don't do it often. And I have a couple paintings over in that area of my room. I have 2 of them hanging up and 3 of them just kind of vibing. And one of them I've been working on since April of last year and just haven't picked it up since. Even I was looking at them one day and I was like, ooh, you know, I need a little extra money. I wonder if like anybody would buy those if I sold them. And I was like, no, I don't actually want to sell them. I really like them, but I'm thinking about selling them because money. I hate it. I guess this video was just me wanting to complain about how I hate that money has to control everything, especially creativity, which is such like a free, fun thing to do. And like, I don't hate like artistic careers, but I hate that they have to be careers. I hate that we have to, like, if we're following the dream of like being like a painter, we have to consider like, what can I get, like what artwork will get me paid. And then people, like, especially when they do commissions, they try to like be like, okay, but I'm only paying you this much. And the person's like, okay, well, like, no, I'm actually charging this much and a tip would be nice. And the person's like, no, that's asking too much. No, it's not. That person just put their time, effort, and all of their creativity into something for you because you asked for it. You're gonna give them extra money and you're gonna tip them. And a lot of artists charge less than what they probably should because they don't necessarily, like, a lot of it's like confidence. They don't really like think their art is worth that much, and they're worried about like upsetting people, which that shouldn't be a problem. People should, you know, charge what they feel is worth it. And I love that a lot of artists, like groups of like artist friends, just share the like the same like amount of commission money between the like the 4 of them. Like, I'm paying you $20, say, for like this piece of art, and that person's gonna pay this person $20, and it's gonna come back to the original person who asked for the first commission. I think that's cute. I think it's really adorable how like artistic communities kind of come together and help each other out in that sense. But I don't know, it just sucks, man. It sucks that this world is the way it is for many reasons, but in this case for, you know, creativity and artistic people. I hate it. And then people, that's just it, like newspapers and shit. There's, oh my god, there's a picture somewhere on Twitter. If you can find it on my Twitter, please like retweet it. It's like a diagram in a magazine or a newspaper talking about jobs that are like important in like these trying times. And it's like a well done diagram with like little like icons of people that was obviously, you know, had to be commissioned from an artist to make. And on the like jobs that are of value, the artist is like at the bottom. And it's like, you literally, what part of this isn't adding up for you? And that's and like just all those like big magazines and all those big newspapers, that's just it, will like commission like photography, artwork, like diagrams, things like that, and then talk shit about the people who made them. I hate it. I hate it. This was just me complaining and ranting a little bit. But please leave a like if you agree with me. And next week's video, I think next week's video is going to be a lot more fun. So, yeah, please leave a like if you enjoyed and agree with me, and I will see you in next week's video. Bye! My cat is right here in the view of the camera, and she is doing something weird. So other than me looking this way for 90% of the video, I'm also watching this happen. And my phone's been popping off, and I know exactly what, it's the fucking group chat.